Market update on the 20th. So we got a huge move up as expected for a second wave, and it went a little bit faster than I thought though. I thought it was going to be maybe into next week, but we just got straight up to the 0.61 fib today, and yeah, that's got to be a complete second wave. There's little chance that we get something like this now because we went so far up already. So next week will be very telling to see how right this is. If this pattern is correct, we're looking for down here to 379.30 and then bounce, and I would say minimum low 370s, but probably 365, 370, and that's if it's an ABC pattern. So, or whoops, not that. If it's ABC right here, A, B, and then C down here. So that's the first scenario, possibility, 5-wave move down here. And then obviously the second scenario is something like this, and that would only be the first wave. And then we would get a bigger third wave down here, bounce, and we'd be looking for like 350 for that third wave, and then bounce, and then again another 5-wave move down here to like 320. So those are the two possibilities I see if this is a 5-wave move. Stop here, keep going to 320. On lower time frames, I was being a little cautious here, but on lower time frames, this looked like it could potentially be a 5-wave move. But the third wave only went to the 1.23 fib. For that reason, I think this is not a third wave. I think it's actually A, B, C, something like that. So I bought puts between 393.75 and 395.50ish, I think, something like that. It doesn't really matter where it goes from here. As far as up, I have my risk already factored in, so my risk is up above here at 433, and my profit zone is going to be the 1.61 fib minimum, depending if I want to hold if it goes 5 waves. Profit zone down here at 379.30. So I'm risking like $5 or $6 to make like 16 bucks in the money puts. So I have like intrinsic value, so it's basically like shorting the stock. So the only thing that can really hurt me is if we got like a gap up on Monday, which I think is highly unlikely. But that's how I'm playing it. I'm looking for a third wave to a minimum of 379.30 early next week. If that doesn't come, then, and let's say we get something like this, like a corrective move down, then I would start being very cautious, and I probably would sell some of my puts here. Let's say this is let's say just randomly, this ends up being a 5-wave move here. One, something like that. We would get an ABC move lower, but that would come to 391.56. I bought my puts at 393.75. They're in the money. I'd make money on that still. If this ends up being a second wave, I would still make some alright money on that. So either way, I'll just be watching again this move right here. If we get an ABC, I'll probably be selling my puts. Gap down, I'll be selling them a lot lower. So that's pretty much the game plan for next week. All the work is done. Now I just got to see if it plays out or not. So we'll see what happens. Tesla. Oh, I didn't show you on SPY on the daily time frame. Pretty interesting. I was watching the last couple minutes. They ended up getting a green candle like the last 5 minutes, and then they finished it below the 200 DMA. So if that's the second wave, they finished it perfectly. 1, 2, 3. And I think that I mean, I don't know if that's factored into anything, but it's just interesting that they finished the green candle at the end of the day. Tesla, same thing as SPY, melted up a little bit farther than I thought. Bought puts a little bit early, but I'm looking for a minimum of 116, 117 to sell, and my risk is about $4 or $5. So that's about, again, that's like a 4-to-1 risk reward. So that's pretty good too. I'm looking at this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but that's probably only going to be wave 1. So we'll see what happens on that. Zooming out here, this is supposed to be the 5th wave down. So next week is a big week. We got Tesla earnings too next week on Wednesday. So that's going to be interesting. That might be the catalyst to get it down for the 5th wave. So we'll see on that. Then we got tech earnings the week after that. QQQ holding up a little bit. Still looking for a big move down. Tech earnings obviously are going to be the catalyst. And based on the chart, I would say that tech earnings won't be good, but anything can happen. It hit the supply zone again almost. And so I would expect a move down in QQQ next week too. Maybe it will fall into earnings next week. DXY, nothing really to talk about. Let's go over Apple. So Apple ended up going up higher and still is likely to be a B wave. Yeah, it looks like a B wave to me. I would expect it to come down here. Thing is, Apple has earnings on the 2nd. So I don't know if these are going to sell off until the 2nd. So that's something to think about when you're thinking about SPY as well. But then again, it could sell off into earnings. We get a big move down next week. We'll see what happens with Apple. I think this looks like a B wave right now, so I would expect another move down and then probably runs into earnings, I would think. I think that I can go over Bitcoin real quick, and I think that's it. Let me know if you have any like requests or anything in the comments. Bitcoin still looks like A, B. We got the 1.61 fib down here at 11,300. I think that this is a corrective bounce. So AB, pretty convincing bounce though. But we'll have to see. I mean, it's looking like a corrective bounce. I would expect a little bit more downside here to 10 or 12,000, but right now it's kind of hard to argue with this bounce. We zoom in here a little bit. Can't really zoom in on Bitcoin, so I don't know. This looks like a 5-wave move though. So just short term, I would look for a pullback to a minimum of, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the daily time frame. Probably looking at a pullback to at least 19,000 here soon. That's assuming that this is the top right here. If I was going to predict the top on this move, maybe you'll come up here to 23.6 to 24.2. If that were the case, then we're looking at a pullback to about 20,000. 20,000 to 18.8, something like that. So we'll see what happens. Maybe this is bottomed right here. at 15,000. That's close enough to the bottom. We'll have to just watch the pullback here and see what kind of move we get. But with the overall market not bottoming, I'm going to say I think it's a very slim chance that Bitcoin bottom, but we'll see going forward. So that's pretty much it. My main focus is on SPY and Tesla. That's what I'm trading. Let me know what you think in the comments about this move. It hit exactly where I was talking about yesterday. A lot of people didn't think it was going to go over 390, but you just gotta play these moves kind of like robotic. I'm pretty robotic about it. So we get a first wave down, I'm probably going to be shorting at the 50% retracement. And then I'm looking for the 1.61 fib for the third wave. Just be robotic about it. Hopefully you bought some puts. And if we're wrong and it does come up here above 400, then you get rid of your puts and you take a small loss. But you're doing the right risk reward to make more money than you're going to lose in the long run. If you do this 4 times and you have a 4-to-1 risk reward and you only get 1 of them right, you break even. If you get 2 of them right, then you make, I think you make double your money. I don't know the exact math, but you're making more than you lose that way. So just keep on taking the right risk reward, and these moves will play out good. This is one of the best short opportunities we've had in a long time. We get an impulsive move down, corrective move bounce. So at the minimum, we should get a C wave down here to 380. So I'm ready. I'm loaded up. We'll see what happens on Monday. Have a good weekend. Let me know what you think in the comments. Any other comments? Anything you want to say? Like, subscribe for more updates. Monday through Friday, pretty much during the day and always after hours. All right.